whether you like Mourinho or not, Pogba's not been great. By the way, Pogba making statements. He's not exactly been absolutely wonderful for Man United in his time since he's come in here. But you can't have as a manager, in my opinion, you can't have as a manager a guy out undermining you like that and then you let him away with it. So I think it's understandable.
What do you expect to happen though, Craig? And I'm thinking of you. If one of your managers had treated you, and I'm talking about you personally now,
right,
you wouldn't have stood for that.
Well, how's he treated?
I'll tell you what has he treated? He's criticised him in public. He's embarrassed him during games by taking him off. Then he gives him the captaincy.
Hold on.
Now he's turning around and saying that, by the way, I made such a big mistake of not giving them just the captaincy, but giving them the second captaincy. I mean, he's making a mockery of Pogba.
You don't embarrass Pogba by taking him off. Is he beyond being taken off?
I'm not. Listen,
if you're not playing well, if you're not playing well, if you're not tracking runners, can you not be taken off?
We're not talking about some ordinary guy here. We're talking about a guy that is your talisman, who's maybe having a hard time, who's maybe not producing. So what do? The last thing is going to help Manchester United, because at the end of the day, if you're Woodward, you should be concerned of what's best for Man United. And what's best for Man United is somebody running the team who's going to get the best out of a guy who clearly is a world-class player.
I'll put it another way.
That is not Mourinho. So there's your problem.
I'll tell you, I'll put it another way. You're managing New England Revolution, and somebody's coming out in the press after the game and they're criticising your tactics and they're the captain of that football club. Are you just going to sit back and take it in your office?
Of course you're not.
No, you're not.
But the whole reason this situation is about is because of Mourinho.
Not all Mourinho.
Of course, come on.
No, I'm not having that.
Listen, Pogba hasn't said
I've said it
has
before.
Not come out before Mourinho's criticised him or done something.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's too many at Man United prepared to hide behind the flack that Mourinho has taken for his style of play. I'm not saying Mourinho is innocent in this. He's clearly not. But there's a lot of players happy to hide behind the he'll be sacked shortly, and when he's sacked, everything will be just fine.
On the one hand, to Stevie's point, Jose Mourinho, in my opinion, did fire the first shot at Paul Pogba before he even returned after the World Cup. All that being said, I have no real issue with what Paul Pogba said yesterday about their style of play. At the same time, I have absolutely no problem with Jose Mourinho stripping the captaincy of Paul Pogba. Because of their history, because of what has been said in the past, everything either of them says right now is going to be interpreted as an attack on the other. So take Paul Pogba, the only one you can, out of that equation, and let's focus on the football. At the same time, you hear people saying, well, I want Paul Pogba to wear the armband in the way and the authority that a Roy Keane did. There is absolutely no way in a month of Sundays that Roy Keane would play in a Manchester United team like this and not have far more to say about the style of football. So something has to give here. This style of football is not suiting Manchester United, and somebody needs to call this team out on it. Somebody needs to take that position. Paul Pogba is the only one I can tell with the backbone to do that.
Well, the reports come. I'm just reading some of the early newspapers from tomorrow in England, and the suggestions are that one of the reasons, if not the reason, is not because he's made some criticisms of his tactics, is that he's told him he wants to go. Him and his agent have told Mourinho, we want to quit. We want to quit Man United as soon as possible, and we want out. So he's just gone, Bosh, you're not the captain anymore.
George,
I mean, it's just poisonous.
How much truth is there into these stories that are coming out that Paul Pogba wants to leave?
I think if Pogba wants to go, it's because he doesn't want to work with Mourinho anymore. I think it's got nothing to do with Manchester United, with the club, with the fans. It's because the relationship has gone so bad now that Pogba doesn't want to be there anymore if Mourinho is there anymore. And I think there was a time where Pogba really thought that Mourinho could go before him, and that there would be more time for Pogba at the club without Mourinho than with Mourinho there. But maybe now you're thinking, you know what? If he's still there by January, it's better for me if I move on because we don't get on and we don't get on enough. Maybe for me to do my best at this club. I mean, I think there's a problem as well with Mourinho's communication. The justification of a bad result is never his fault. And tonight, if you look at the quotes after the game. For Jose Mourinho to come out and said, during the penalty shootout, when I saw that Phil Jones and Eric Bailly were the next ones to take a pen, I knew we were in trouble. What manager on earth comes out on television after the game and blame his player for losing the game on the penalty shootout because he was a centre-back? I mean, and I think that's one example of what has been really frustrating for Paul Pogba, and not just Paul Pogba. Many other United players in the dressing room, but Pogba, like Shaka said, has been the only one brave enough or courageous enough or whatever the word to come out and say exactly what he thinks about Mourinho and the tactics and the way he runs this dressing room and the way he runs the team.
How about some of it? One second. How about some of Mourinho? How about some of Pogba's performances, Julian?
But we're not talking. Wait. No, I think he's got a good point, hasn't he? Why is he bringing up Phil Jones and Eric Bailly in a penalty shootout?
Why haven't you got me?
Because you're going back to Paul Pogba. And I think this is bigger than Paul Pogba. This is about...
What we saw tonight...
It was about Mourinho losing the team.
What we see on the field, right, absolutely is part of the problem for what's going on off the field. And there's no question, players in dressing rooms take sides. And I'll be shocked if the majority are not on Pogba's side. And that will translate itself on the field. So if we want to look at a performance like the one that he had against Derby, there's your cause, there's your problem. You've got the majority, in my opinion, of the squad who are sick of Mourinho as well. It just so happens that Pogba and him are the one that are in
throwing the towel in. So you're saying a team of internationals against a championship team.
There is an absolute world of difference when you step on the field and you want nothing to do with the manager. Absolutely.
Did they throw the towel in against Wolves? What about the attitude when they were abysmal at Brighton, including Paul Pogba and Brighton away, when he couldn't kick his own backside?
Again,
is that Mourinho's fault?
So if he's having a go at players for their attitude, whose job is that? We absolutely annihilated Arsene Wenger because of the attitude of his Arsenal players. Everybody kept saying, every time they start a game, they're horrible. But that's the manager's job. And if the players have got the wrong attitude, that's the manager's job.